My husband's family tried to erase me on a cruise and betrayed us all. They pushed me out so his ex could play mom, so I filed for separation, met them at the port, and made him pick a side. But he never saw my next move. If this story pulled you in, please subscribe to Velvet Stories so you don't miss the next one. I stared at Mitchell across our kitchen table, waiting for him to say he'd shut this down immediately. He didn't. "It's just 1 week," he said. "The kids are more comfortable with Brianna on boats. She used to take them sailing. We'd been married for 4 years. His ex had left him for her personal trainer, drained their joint account, and hadn't attended a single school event since the divorce. But sure, she was the sailing expert. His mother called that evening. "Nothing personal, dear, it's about the children's comfort." The children were 11 and 9. I'd been packing their lunches, helping with homework, and sitting through soccer games in the rain, while Brianna posted Instagram stories from Cancun with her boyfriend. "We've already booked Brianna's cabin," my mother-in-law continued. "She's so excited to reconnect with the family." The family that had spent every holiday at my house for the past 4 years. I told Mitchell I'd go anyway, book my own cabin if needed. He got quiet. That would make things awkward. "For who? Mom thinks it might confuse the kids having both of you there." I'd been their stepmother longer than Brianna had been present in their lives post-divorce. The younger one, Nolan, still called me when he had nightmares. I called my sister. She laughed darkly. "Let me guess. They want the Instagram perfect blended family moment without the actual blended family." She dealt with similar dynamics in her own marriage. "What are you going to do?" I didn't know yet, but I wasn't going to disappear quietly. The cruise was in 10 days. I watched Mitchell pack, his mother texting him updates about Brianna's arrival time and which deck activities they'd planned. Not once did he suggest I come, not once did he tell his mother this was wrong. On the morning they left, I helped the kids load their suitcases into Mitchell's car. Nolan hugged me tight. "Wish you were coming," he whispered. "Dad said you had to work." I looked at Mitchell. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I waited until their ship departed. Then I called my lawyer and my dad. Dad had always said something felt off about Mitchell's family, the way they still kept Brianna's photos up, how they'd slip and call her by name when talking about family plans. My lawyer listened to everything. "Document all of this," she said. "Every text, every call, every exclusion." That week, I changed our joint account to require dual signatures for large withdrawals. I backed up 4 years of photos showing me at every school event, every birthday, every milestone. I contacted the kids' teachers and coaches asking for letters confirming my involvement. By day 5, I'd filed for legal separation, but those 7 days were harder than I expected. I went to work, came home to an empty house, and sat in the silence. Nolan's backpack was still hanging by the door. Caleb's science project sat half-finished on the dining table. I'd promised to help him complete it when he got back if he came back to me at all. My best friend, Michelle, came over on day 4. She found me staring at photos on my phone. "You're spiraling," she said. "Stop. What if I'm overreacting? What if Mitchell's right and I'm making this bigger than it is? His family asked you to disappear so his ex-wife could play mommy for a week. That's not small." She took my phone away. "You're not overreacting. You're finally reacting." There's a difference. On day 6, I got a text from Caleb, just a photo of a dolphin with the caption, "Saw this, made me think of you." We'd watched a documentary about dolphins together 2 months ago. He'd been fascinated. That small gesture broke something in me. He was thinking of me while his grandmother tried to erase me. Mitchell called from the ship on day 6. "The kids miss you. Brianna's being difficult." Of course she was. She'd gotten her photo op and now wanted nothing to do with actual parenting. "Can you pick us up from the port?" he asked. "Mom's car is too small for everyone." I let the silence stretch. Then I said the words I'd been practicing. "Your mom can figure it out. I'm sure Brianna can help." Before he could respond, I added, "Also, check your email. My lawyer sent you something." The line went quiet. Then, "What did you do?" Everything they taught me to do. Actually, protect myself. Set boundaries. Stop being invisible in my own marriage. "We'll talk when you get back." I said, "If you get back to an empty house, you'll know I'm done." I hung up before he could respond. My phone exploded with messages. Mitchell's mother called me selfish and manipulative. His sister said I was overreacting. Mitchell sent 15 texts ranging from apologetic to accusatory. I turned off my phone and went to my dad's house. That night I got a call from an unknown number. The voice was female, hesitant. Is this Mitchell's wife? It wasn't Brianna. Who is this? I asked. My name is Gabrielle. I'm Brianna's sister. I'd never met her. Didn't even know Brianna had a sister. I need to talk to you about what's happening on that cruise. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? She took a deep breath. Brianna's been planning something. She's trying to get Mitchell back. That's why she agreed to this whole reunion thing. She thinks if she can prove she's still part of the family, she can convince him to reconcile. I sat down hard on my dad's couch. Mitchell knows this. I don't think so, but his mother does. She's been helping Brianna plan it for months. Gabrielle's voice cracked. Look, I love my sister, but what she did to Mitchell was wrong, and what she's doing now is worse. Those kids deserve stability, not this mess. Why are you telling me this? Because Brianna showed me the text between her and Mitchell's mother. They're going to ambush him on the last night of the cruise. Tell him it's what the kids want, that you've been planning to leave him anyway. She paused. His mother's been collecting evidence. Photos of you out with friends claiming you're having an affair. Timestamps from when you worked late, saying you're neglecting the family. I felt sick. I work late because I'm a nurse. I go out with friends twice a month, I know, that's why I'm calling. This isn't right. She gave me the name of the cruise ship and the cabin numbers. They dock in 2 days. If you want to stop this, you need to be at that port. After she hung up, I sat in the dark for an hour. My dad came in with coffee. You okay? No, I told him everything. He didn't say anything for a long time, then he stood up. Pack a bag. We're driving to Miami. We left at 4:00 a.m. Dad drove while I researched everything I could about cruise ship arrivals and port access. I called my lawyer from the road. She was furious. This is harassment, alienation of affection. I can work with this. She told me to record everything, to stay calm, to let them incriminate themselves. We arrived at the port 6 hours before the ship was scheduled to dock. I was exhausted, angry, and terrified. What if Mitchell had already agreed to reconcile? What if the kids hated me for causing this disruption? What if I was too late? My dad bought us breakfast at a cafe near the terminal. Your mother would have handled this differently, he said quietly. Mom had died when I was 22, long before I'd met Mitchell. She would have shown up with a bullhorn and a lawyer. He smiled sadly, but she also would have been proud of you for standing up for yourself. The ship appeared on the horizon just after noon, massive and white, gliding toward the port like it had all the time in the world. My hands were shaking. Dad squeezed my shoulder. You ready? I wasn't, but I nodded anyway. The disembarkation process took forever. Families poured off the ship, sunburned and loaded with luggage. I stood near the main exit, scanning faces. Then I saw them. Mitchell's mother first, imperious in a designer sundress. His sister beside her pushing a luggage cart. Then Brianna looking irritatingly tanned and relaxed. The kids walked between them and my heart cracked when I saw Nolan's face. He looked miserable. Mitchell came last, his phone pressed to his ear. He was arguing with someone, then he looked up and saw me. He stopped walking so abruptly that his sister nearly crashed into him. His mother followed his gaze, and her expression went from surprise to fury in half a second. Brianna turned, saw me, and her perfectly crafted smile faltered. I walked toward them. My dad stayed back, but I could feel him watching, ready to intervene if needed. What are you doing here? Mitchell's mother demanded. This is family business. I am family, I said calmly, or I was until you decided to erase me. Mitchell stepped forward. We need to talk. His voice was strained privately. No, I looked at his mother, then at Brianna. Whatever you need to say it in front of them since they've been running our marriage anyway. His mother's face re-ended. How dare you? Mom, stop. Mitchell's voice was sharp. He turned to me and I saw something in his eyes I hadn't seen in months. Clarity. I got your lawyer's email. I read it on the ship and then I started paying attention. He looked at his mother, really paying attention. Mitchell, honey, she's manipulating you. His mother started. No, she isn't. He pulled out his phone. You want to know what manipulation looks like? It's the 52 texts you sent me this week about how Brianna has changed, how she misses our family, how the kids need their real mother. He scrolled through his phone. It's you booking Brianna's cabin before even asking if my wife could come. It's you telling the kids that she had to work when you know that's not true. I was trying to help you see. See what? That my ex-wife who abandoned us suddenly wants to play house again. Mitchell's voice rose. That the woman who's been raising my children for 4 years doesn't matter. Brianna stepped forward. Mitchell, please. I made mistakes, but I'm ready now. I'm better. Don't you remember what we had? I remember what we had, he said quietly. I also remember finding you in our bed with someone else. I remember you taking $30,000 from our savings. I remember you missing Nolan's birthday because you were in Cabo. He looked at me. And I remember who was there when I fell apart. Who helped me become a better father who loves those kids like they're her own. Nolan broke free from his grandmother and ran to me. I caught him and he buried his face in my shoulder. I told Did you didn't have to work. I told him you'd want to come, but Grandma said he trailed off. It's okay, I whispered even though it wasn't. Mitchell's sister finally spoke. Maybe we should all just calm down and discuss this rationally. There's nothing to discuss, I said. I looked at Mitchell. I filed for separation. Not because I don't love you, but because I won't be invisible anymore. I won't be the woman your family tolerates while they wait for Brianna to come back. I don't want her back. Mitchell said, I want you. I've always wanted you. He glared at his mother. And if you can't accept that, if you can't treat my wife with basic respect, then we're done, all of us. His mother gasped, You don't mean that. I do. He was crying now, and I'd never seen him cry before. I've spent 4 years trying to keep everyone happy, trying to blend families and make peace. But I failed the one person who never asked me to choose. He looked at me, I'm choosing now, I'm choosing you. Brianna made a sound like a wounded animal. This is insane. Those are my children. Then act like it, I said. My voice was steady despite the chaos in my chest. Show up to their games, help with homework, know their teachers' names, be their mother instead of posting about being their mother. I stepped closer. You had 4 years to do that. You didn't, so don't stand here and blame me for filling a void you created. She slapped me. The crack echoed across the terminal. Nolan screamed. My dad started forward, but I held up a hand. I touched my stinging cheek and smiled. Thank you. For what? Brianna looked confused. For making this easy. I pulled out my phone. My dad had been recording from 20 ft away just in case. That's assault in front of witnesses, including your children. I looked at Mitchell. Your lawyer's going to love this. Mitchell's mother grabbed Brianna's arm. We're leaving. This is ridiculous. She looked at Mitchell with pure venom. When you come to your senses, don't bother calling. You've made your choice. She dragged Brianna toward the exit, his sister following reluctantly. We stood there in silence. Nolan was still clinging to me. His older brother, Caleb, approached slowly. Are you really leaving, Dad? He asked me. I don't know, I said. Honestly, that depends on your dad. Mitchell knelt down so he was eye level with both kids. I messed up. I let Grandma and Aunt Patricia and your mom treat someone very important to me badly. I didn't stand up for her when I should have. He looked at me over their heads. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I need more than sorry, I said. I need boundaries, real ones. I need to know that your family can't just erase me whenever they feel like it. They won't get the chance. He stood up. We're done with family cruises, done with holidays that require you to prove yourself, done with all of it. He took a shaky breath. If they can't accept you, they don't get access to us. Mitchell, those are your kids' grandparents, and they just spent a week trying to destroy their stepmother. The woman who tucks them in at night and checks their homework and shows up to everything. His jaw was tight. Actions have consequences. They need to learn that. My dad finally approached. Son, that's a big decision. Don't make it out of anger. I'm not. Mitchell extended his hand. I'm making it out of love for my wife, for my kids, for the life we built that I almost let them destroy. We went home separately. Mitchell needed time with the boys and I needed space to think. My lawyer called that evening. The video is perfect. We can use Brianna's assault to strengthen your position, but are you sure you want to proceed with a separation? I don't know. I admitted he said the right things, but he said things before. Then take your time. The papers are filed, the ball's in his court. I stayed at my dad's house for 4 more days. Mitchell texted constantly. Updates about the kids, apologies, promises. He sent photos of dinner he'd cooked, homework he checked, bedtime stories he'd read, trying to show me he could handle it without me, or maybe showing me how much he needed me. I wasn't sure which. On the 3rd night, Caleb called me directly. Dad's crying again. He said quietly in his room. He thinks we can't hear him. I'm sorry, buddy. Is it because of Grandma? Because of what she did. His voice was small. Nolan says Grandma was mean to you, that she wanted Mom to come back instead. I closed my eyes. Your grandma and I have different ideas about what family should look like. I like our family better with you in it, he said. Mom's nice sometimes, but she forgets about us. You don't forget. That conversation broke me. On the 5th day, Mitchell showed up at my dad's door with a folder. "Can we talk?" We sat on the porch. He handed me the folder. Inside were printed emails. These are from the past 2 years between my mother and Brianna. They've been planning this reconciliation for a long time. He looked sick. "My mother told Brianna that you were just a phase, that once I saw her with the kids again, I'd remember what we had." I read through them. The manipulation was breathtaking. Brianna's financial troubles, his mother's promises to help if she played along, detailed plans about the cruise, the ambush, the Instagram post designed to make them look like a reunited family. "She paid for Brianna's cabin," Mitchell said. "And she promised to give her $15,000 if she could convince me to divorce you." He ran his hands through his hair. "I had no idea. I swear I had no idea. You should have known something was wrong when they asked me to skip a family event." "You're right, I should have." He pulled out another paper. "This is a letter I wrote to my mother. I'm not sending it. I'm reading it to you instead." He cleared his throat. "Dear Mom, I'm writing this because I need you to understand that your behavior toward my wife has been unacceptable. You undermined my marriage, conspired with my ex-wife, and taught my children that manipulation is how families operate. Until you can apologize sincerely to my wife and respect our boundaries, you will not be welcome in our home or our lives. This isn't a negotiation. This is me finally being the husband and father I should have been all along." Tears were running down his face. "I need you to know that I'm sending it tomorrow, and I'm prepared for her to never speak to me again." "Mitchell, I chose wrong." He said, "Every time I had to pick between keeping peace with my family and protecting you, I chose wrong." "I'm done choosing wrong." I took his hand. "This is going to be hard. Cutting off your mother, dealing with Brianna's drama, explaining to the kids why Grandma can't visit. I know, but nothing's harder than losing you." He looked at me with raw honesty. "I can't promise I'll be perfect, but I promise I'll choose you every single time, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard." We sat there for a long time. Finally, I said, "I need therapy. We need therapy. And if your mother responds to that letter with anything less than a genuine apology, I need to know you'll hold firm." "I will." He squeezed my hand, "whatever it takes." I moved back home the next day. The boys were overjoyed, relieved that the nightmare was ending. Mitchell sent the letter. His mother responded with a vicious text calling me every name imaginable. He blocked her number without responding. His sister tried to mediate, but when she suggested we'd overreacted, Mitchell told her the same boundaries applied to her. Brianna's lawyer sent a letter demanding increased custody, claiming the cruise proved she was capable of co-parenting. My lawyer responded with the assault video and emails showing the manipulation. Brianna backed down fast. The hardest part was watching Mitchell grieve his family. He'd put up with their toxicity for so long that losing them felt like losing a limb, but he never wavered. When his mother showed up at our house unannounced, he told her to leave. When she sent presents for the kids with notes about how much she missed them, he returned them unopened. The first therapy session was brutal. Our counselor, Dr. Hammond, didn't pull punches. "You enabled your family's mistreatment of your wife for 4 years," he told Mitchell bluntly. "That's a long time to be complicit." Mitchell sat there taking it, nodding, accepting responsibility in a way I'd never seen before. "I thought if I could just keep everyone happy, it would work out," Mitchell said. "I thought my mom would eventually come around, but she didn't." Dr. Hammond said, "And in the meantime, your wife was being systematically excluded and devalued. How did that serve your marriage?" "It didn't." Mitchell looked at me. "It almost destroyed it." We had sessions twice a week for the first month, learning to communicate, to recognize patterns, to understand how deeply Mitchell's need for his mother's approval had compromised our relationship. I had my own work to do too, learning to speak up earlier, to not accept crumbs, to value myself enough to demand better. "You stayed quiet for 4 years, Dr. Hammond pointed out. "Why? I thought if I was patient enough, proved myself enough, they'd accept me." I laughed bitterly. "I thought the problem was me. The problem was never you." 6 months later, we were making real progress. Mitchell had started standing up for me in small daily ways I hadn't even noticed were missing before. When his co-worker made a joke about his ex-wife, Mitchell shut it down instead of laughing awkwardly. When someone asked about his family drama, he said clearly, "My mother disrespected my wife. We're no longer in contact." No excuses, no justification. The kids were adjusting. Nolan asked about Grandma less frequently. He'd started calling me Mom sometimes, then catching himself and apologizing. You don't have to apologize, I told him. Call me whatever feels right. Caleb was angrier, acting out at school, getting into fights. We got him into therapy too. I'm mad at Grandma, Caleb told his therapist. She made everything bad. Dad was sad all the time and she tried to make Mom leave. He still called me Mom, even in front of Mitchell. Brianna had objected once. Caleb told her, you're not here. She is, so she's Mom. Brianna tried twice more to leverage her renewed involvement into something bigger. Both times, the court sided with us. Consistency matters. Showing up matters, and a cruise doesn't erase 4 years of absence. The second time she filed, claiming we were alienating her from the children. The judge looked at her attendance record and dismissed the case immediately. You've attended 8% of scheduled visitations in 4 years, he said. That's self-alienation. My relationship with Mitchell strengthened in ways I didn't expect. Turns out when you stop trying to please everyone, you can actually focus on the people who matter. We went on our own trip, just the 4 of us. No extended family, no pressure, no Instagram performance, just us. We stayed in a cabin in the mountains, played board games, hiked trails, and ate dinner together every night. Nolan said it was the best vacation he'd ever had. His mother sent a letter after 8 months. It started with, I've had time to think, and ended with, you owe me a chance to explain. There was no apology, no acknowledgement of what she'd done. Mitchell read it once and threw it away. She still doesn't get it, he said. Maybe she never will. Are you okay with that? I asked. He thought about it. I'm sad about it, but yeah, I'm okay because I have you, I have the boys. I have a life that's honest instead of just looking perfect. He kissed my forehead. I should have protected that from the beginning. Around the 10-month mark, something shifted. Mitchell stopped looking sad when holidays approached. He stopped checking his phone, hopefully waiting for his mother to apologize. He started planning our own traditions instead. Thanksgiving dinner with my family and close friends. Christmas morning, just the 4 of us. Then brunch with people who actually cared about us. Do you miss them? I asked him one night. I miss who I thought they were, he said. But I don't miss walking on eggshells. I don't miss feeling like I'm failing everyone all the time. He pulled me closer. I like this version of our life better, even with all the grief. A year after the cruise, we renewed our vows. Small ceremony, just close friends and the kids. No family drama, no politics, no performance, just promises we actually intended to keep. As Nolan handed Mitchell the ring, he whispered, "You better not mess this up again, Dad." Mitchell laughed through tears. "I won't, buddy, I promise." And he didn't. We still had hard days. Moments when the kids missed their grandmother, or when Mitchell second-guessed whether he was too harsh, but we talked through it. We didn't hide anymore. We don't pretend everything's fine when it isn't. One particularly hard day came around the 15-month mark. Nolan had a school assembly where they were supposed to bring grandparents. He came home crying because he was the only kid without any grandparents there. My dad had been out of town. Everyone had someone, he sobbed. Even Tyler and his grandparents live in China. Mitchell held him while he cried. "I know it's hard, I know you miss Grandma." "Why can't she just say sorry?" Nolan asked. "If she said sorry, she could come back, right? It's more complicated than that," I said gently. "Grandma would have to mean it. She'd have to change how she treats people." "But she won't." "No, buddy, she won't." That night after the kids were asleep, Mitchell broke down. "I did this to them. I let my mother be who she is for so long that now they're paying for my boundaries. They're not paying for your boundaries. I said they're benefiting from them. They're learning that you protect your family, that you don't let people hurt the people you love, even if those people are family." I held his face in my hands. "They're learning what love actually looks like. That's not a bad lesson." Brianna faded into the background where she belonged. Occasional visits, supervised and structured. The kids stopped expecting her to be more than she was. That stung, but it also freed them to stop hoping for something that wasn't coming. She'd show up for her scheduled time, take them to the movies or the park, then disappear again for a month. Consistent in her inconsistency, around 18 months, she stopped pretending. The visits became even less frequent. She moved to Austin with a new boyfriend, and suddenly the drive was too far, the schedule too complicated. The kids barely reacted when she canceled. "Figures," Caleb said when she bailed on his basketball game. No anger, no surprise, just acceptance that this was who she was. 2 years after the cruise, Mitchell's sister, Patricia, reached out. She'd left her husband and finally understood what we'd been dealing with. "I'm sorry," she said. I saw it happening and I looked away because it was easier. We met for coffee cautiously with boundaries, but it was a start. "Mom's angrier than ever," Patricia told us. "She tells everyone you turned Mitchell against the family, that you isolated him." "We didn't isolate him," I said. "We set boundaries, I know that now." She stirred her coffee. "My ex did the same thing your mom did, Mitchell. Tried to control every aspect of my life. Told me what to think, who to see, how to parent. I defended him because he was family." She looked up with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry I didn't defend you." Mitchell was cautious but kind. "We established clear rules." Patricia could see the kids but not talk about their grandmother. No guilt trips, no mediation attempts, no pressure. She agreed. Over time, she became part of our lives again. Different than before, but present. His mother never apologized. She sent cards on birthdays with just her name signed. No warmth, no acknowledgement, just proof she remembered. Mitchell stopped opening them after a while. "She's not going to change," he said, "and I can't keep hoping she will." Around the 30-month mark, we had a scare. Mitchell's mother had a heart attack. Patricia called us from the hospital. "She's asking for you," she said. "For Mitchell and the boys." We went. Not because we forgave her, but because Mitchell needed to see for himself if this crisis would change anything. We walked into her hospital room and she looked small in the bed, fragile, almost sympathetic. Then she opened her mouth. "About time you showed up. No apology, no acknowledgement, just entitlement." Mitchell stood there for a moment, then turned to leave. "Mitchell, wait," she called out. "I almost died. And I'm sorry you're going through this," he said. "But that doesn't change anything between us. You're really going to hold a grudge while I'm in a hospital bed?" "I'm not holding a grudge, I'm maintaining boundaries." He looked at her calmly. "You can apologize to my wife at any time. Until then, we're done." We left. His sister followed us to the parking lot. "She's not going to change," Patricia said. "Even facing death, she's still more concerned with being right than being in your life." "I know," Mitchell said, "and I'm okay with that now." The kids thrived. Nolan joined theater and discovered he loved performing. Caleb made the honor roll and started talking about college. They had stability, consistency, and 2 parents who showed up. Not the family Mitchell's mother had envisioned, but the one they deserve. By year 4, the grief had mostly faded. Mitchell rarely brought up his mother. When he did, it was factual, not emotional. "My mother made choices. I made mine. That's how it is." He'd accepted that some relationships can't be repaired, that some people won't change, that protecting your peace sometimes means walking away from blood. We established new traditions. Annual camping trips where Mitchell taught the boys survival skills. Monthly game nights where we'd play ridiculous board games and order too much pizza. Sunday morning pancakes where everyone cooked together. Small things that added up to a life we'd built ourselves. Sometimes I think about that cruise, about standing at the port, watching that ship come in, not knowing if I was about to lose everything or save it. I think about Gabrielle's phone call and wonder if she knew what she was setting in motion. I never heard from her again. Maybe she decided family loyalty was more important. Maybe Brianna cut her off for interfering. But mostly I think about the moment Mitchell chose, really chose, not in words or promises, but in action, in letters sent and boundaries held and family members blocked. In therapy sessions and hard conversations and days when it would have been easier to give in. Because love isn't just showing up when it's convenient, it's showing up when it cost you something. When the choice is between peace and principle, and you pick principle even though it hurts. Mitchell's mother sent one final letter when Nolan graduated middle school. It was short. "I miss my grandsons. I made mistakes. Can we talk?" There was still no apology to me, no acknowledgement that I existed beyond being an obstacle. Mitchell called her. I listened from the other room. "You can see the boys if you apologize to my wife. Not a half-hearted sorry, but a real one. You need to acknowledge what you did and why it was wrong." Silence on the other end. Then the line went dead. She'd hung up. He came into the room looking defeated. "She can't do it. After all this time, she still can't admit she was wrong, then she doesn't get access." I said, "That's her choice." "I know." He sat beside me. "I just wish it didn't have to be this way." "It doesn't. She could apologize, she could change, she's choosing not to." I took his hand. "You're not responsible for her choices anymore. Just yours." He nodded. "I choose you every time, I'll keep choosing you." And he has for 5 years now. Through job changes and parenting challenges and the normal chaos of life, through moments when reconnecting with his family would have been easier, through holidays that feel smaller but infinitely more peaceful. The kids understand now. They see how their dad protects our family, how he refuses to let toxic patterns repeat. Caleb told me recently that he wants to marry someone like me someday, someone Dad will actually fight for. He said, "It was the highest compliment I've ever received." Brianna disappeared again eventually. New boyfriend, new city, new life. The kids barely notice anymore. They have what they need right here. Last month, we went on another cruise. Just the four of us, like before. Mitchell stood on the deck watching the sunset, and I wrapped my arms around him from behind. "Any regrets?" I asked. He turned and kissed me, "Only that I didn't choose you sooner." Below deck, the kids were playing shuffleboard and laughing. Our family, small and imperfect, and ours, no performances, no pretense, just people who showed up for each other, who kept showing up even when it was hard. That's what Mitchell's mother never understood. Family isn't about blood or obligation or maintaining appearances. It's about choosing each other day after day, choice after choice. And every morning, Mitchell still chooses me. In small ways and big ones, in coffee made without asking and therapy appointments kept, in boundaries maintained and promises honored. In the life we built after I refused to stay invisible. Sometimes people ask how we made it through, how we recovered from that level of family betrayal. The answer is simple and complicated all at once. We stopped trying to fix people who didn't want to be fixed. We stopped sacrificing our peace for other people's comfort. We chose each other over everyone else, and we keep choosing every single day. That's the real story. Not the dramatic confrontation at the port or the letters sent or the boundaries drawn. It's the daily decision to build something honest instead of something that just looks good from the outside. It's knowing that family isn't who you're born to. It's who shows up, who stays, who fights for you when it would be easier to walk away. Mitchell fought for me, for us. And I stayed because he proved that the words meant something. That sorry came with action. That choosing me wasn't just something he said, but something he did over and over until the wounds healed and the trust rebuilt. And the life we created became more real than the one his family tried to force us into. We won. Not because we destroyed his family or got revenge, but because we built something better, something that didn't require anyone to be invisible. Where love looked like protection and respect and showing up. Not just when it was easy, but especially when it wasn't, and on hard days when Mitchell wonders if he made the right choice. I remind him of Nolan's face at that port, how miserable he looked. How he ran to me, how he knew even at 9 that something was wrong with the way his grandmother treated me. I remind him that kids learn what love looks like by watching us, and we taught them that love isn't performance, it's presence, it's choosing. It's fighting for the people who matter. His mother might never understand that. She might die believing she was right, that I was the problem. That Mitchell threw away his family for nothing, but she'll be wrong. Because family isn't something you're born into that you have to accept regardless of how they treat you. It's something you build with people who deserve your loyalty, who earn your presence, who show up not just in good times but in hard ones. Mitchell's mother had every chance to be that person. She chose her pride instead. That's on her, not on us. We just refused to keep paying for her choices. And in doing that, we gave our kids something better. A home where they don't have to walk on eggshells, where the adults protect them instead of using them as pawns, where love is honest and messy and real. That's worth more than any picture-perfect family reunion. Worth more than keeping peace with people who demand you sacrifice your dignity for their comfort. Worth everything we lost and everything we fought to keep. So when people ask if I regret how it all went down, I tell them the truth. I regret that it had to happen at all. I regret that Mitchell's family couldn't just treat me like a person. But I don't regret standing up for myself. I don't regret the separation papers, or the confrontation at the port, or the boundaries we set, because those moments saved my marriage. They saved me. And they taught Mitchell something crucial. That protecting your peace sometimes means disappointing people. That you can love someone and still enforce consequences for their behavior. That choosing your spouse isn't betraying your family, it's honoring your commitment. 5 years later, we're still here, still choosing each other, still teaching our kids what healthy love looks like. And Mitchell's mother is still waiting for him to come crawling back, apologizing, accepting her back without change. She'll be waiting forever. Because we learned the hardest lesson of all. Some people won't change, and you can't sacrifice your happiness trying to make them. You can only protect what matters, fight for who shows up, and build a life with people who choose you back. That's what we did. That's what we keep doing, and it's enough. More than enough, it's everything.